I'm going to show you how to make homemade marshmallows. These marshmallows are biblically clean, they are low glycemic, and they are healthy. So really easy, only a few ingredients. You maybe not have all of them because you probably don't have this beef gelatin at your house. I got this beef gelatin at Amazon. Recommend this brand, Vital Proteins Beef Gelatin. Honey, the more natural the better. This is 100% raw, unfiltered honey, but it's still store-bought. I would recommend going to a local farmer's market. We do have our own local farmer market, but our own honey guy, our honey man, but they're closed, so I had to stick with the store-bought, which actually I think didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to be. So anyways, I use a little bit of vanilla extract, a little bit of salt, use the pink Himalayan salt, and water. We'll link in there how much ingredients you need of all of them. I've put in here the 1/3 cup of honey, 1/4 cup of water, 1/8 of a tablespoon of salt, and just a little bit of vanilla. This has been heating up on medium for about 7 minutes. I set the timer for 9 minutes. You're supposed to let it heat up to 250 degrees if you have a candy thermometer, which I don't. One of the tests that you can do, this is a cold water. I dropped an ice in there. It's already melted. I'm going to drop some honey in there, and it's supposed to crystallize, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so I don't think it's warm enough since it has not crystallized enough. Again, this has did it a little bit, but like I said, it has another 1.5 minutes to go, so let's just let it boil in there for a little bit longer. In the meantime, while the honey is boiling, you're going to put 1/4 cup of water and 1.5 tablespoons of the gelatin. You do have to let this settle for a few minutes. That way it does its magic. It's actually going to soak up the water, or soak into the water, and all this that you see should be gone. So the timer went off, and this should be a little bit hotter than it was on the earlier check. Let's do the test. Again, this isn't the original honey that I used, so I think it was somewhat watered down. Okay, I think it's doing a little bit better. It's crystallizing on the top. Let's just wait a little bit longer. I don't know, I'm just gonna go with it. I can even should be fine. Okay, so I've poured the honey in here, and the honey will make the gelatin a little bit softer. I don't know if you remember from earlier, I had a little bit of balls from the the gelatin. So as I stirred it a little bit here, getting it all nice and soft, now I'm going to whisk this on high for about 5 to 7 minutes. If you go too long, it's going to turn into taffy, not so much fluff. You want it to be more like fluff, so it becomes more like marshmallows. Okay, so once it starts to turn like marshmallow fluff, like you would have done so a long time ago when you would buy the marshmallow fluff from the store, it's pretty much done. If you go any longer, it will turn into taffy, and those will start to connect. I don't know if you can see it pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop all this up into my container. you're supposed to put parchment paper on the glass, but from all the times I've done like Jello and marshmallow and stuff, it's gonna stick a little bit to the container, but I'm like, well, I'll just scrape it off later, so I'm fine with this. Try to make a nice even coat. So it was starting to try to turn into taffy, but you do have to work this pretty fast because once it starts to set, once it starts to cool down, you will no longer be able to work this, and it will start to set. So again, just try to make it as good as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's still gonna be yummy. And pretty much set right there. And this will now be for my son to lick, or my husband when he gets back home. So, or for myself. This is the end result. After about an hour and a half, it was done. I did have to scoop it up a little bit. Not much was stuck onto the container, so that's okay. But here it is, marshmallows. Okay, so you just cut them. Now at this point, because they're going to be sticky, you can put powdered sugar, but I do not recommend that. You can use flour, arrowroot flour, just slightly dust it around it. But again, the amount of powdered sugar you're going to use is going to be very minimal. So if you want to indulge, go ahead. It's okay. And there they are. They're pretty good. I have to show this to my husband, so Brennan?
Let's see here. That was really good. It tastes exactly like a marshmallow.
They're good.
The texture, the taste, everything.
Now let's go ahead and roast them. Okay, so we have the luxury of a propane gas stove, so this works for us. Now you'll start to see that it's going to start melting. Again, it's just gelatin. If it gets hot, it starts to melt. But the key is to get it close, get it to burn a little bit. It just turns back to marshmallow fluff, which is amazing. You see it starting to brown there, and I let it get really hot. Remember, it's just honey. It's just burning the honey. Anyways, you can't have marshmallows without s'mores, so